Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join today's session. I'm excited to share a new feature in FluxMotor 2025.11 that takes us a big step forward in how we evaluate and design electric motors for real industrial use. I'll walk you through an enhancement to our efficiency map testing for SMPM motors. But this isn't just about efficiency anymore. With this new update, we're putting a spotlight on thermal behavior, a critical factor when designing for performance, reliability, and longevity. Let's start by looking at this simplified digital rendering of a typical automated production line. You'll notice that every station, stamping presses, conveyor belts, robotic arms, packaging units is driven by electric motors. But here's the key point. Each of those motors operates under a different duty cycle. The conveyor belt? Continuous operation for hours on end. The stamping press? High torque bursts, short cycles. The packaging machine? Repeating fast cycles, start, stop, start again. As machine builders, system integrators, and designers, you already know that duty type changes everything. From motor sizing and thermal capacity, to cooling strategy and even cost. In FluxMotor 2025.1, we've made your job easier. We've added support for 3 of the most common standard duty types. S1, continuous. S2, short time. S3, intermittent periodic. Before, we only offered S9, which required you to manually input a full-time based duty cycle. Now, with S1, S2, and S3, you can define cycles using simple, standardized inputs, integrated directly into the efficiency map test, no need to build complex tables from scratch. But the real game changer? We now generate temperature maps for every working point under each duty type. Here's what that means. We simulate the thermal response at each torque speed pair. After the motor runs through its duty cycle, we log the resulting temperature. This creates a thermal landscape of your motor's operation zone. You'll immediately see where the motor gets hot, where the cooling is critical, and where limits could be exceeded. Want more detail? You can still generate temperature curves over time at any specific point, just enter your torque and speed. Depending on your needs, the setup is flexible. If you're early in the design phase and not focused on thermal impact, just select No for thermal coupling, done. If you want thermal analysis, select Yes. The default is still S9 for custom cycles. But now, you can choose S1, S2, or S3 with structured, user-friendly inputs. Yes, full coupling takes longer to compute, but the value of thermal insight is enormous, especially in safety-critical or high-performance applications. Let's walk through a live example in the tool. You'll notice the updated look and feel of FluxMotor 2025.1 modern, clean, and intuitive. Here's what happens. Start with your thermal setting. If set to no, duty options are hidden. If set to yes, duty becomes available, assuming thermal components are already defined. Default duty is still S9. But now, S1, S2, and S3 are just a click away. Let's break down each duty type. S1, continuous duty. You provide the cycle duration so the simulation can reach thermal steady state. We provide an automatic suggestion, but you can adjust it. Great for motors that run non-stop, think conveyor belts, pumps, fans. S2, short time duty. Similar input, you set a cycle duration. But no automatic estimation here, you control the length, because the machine never reaches steady state. Use this when testing short duration, high-performance bursts like stamping or temporary overloads. S3, intermittent periodic duty. Define total cycle duration, on-load ratio, and number of cycles. You can manually input the number of repetitions or let FluxMotor suggest it. We capture max temperature at the end of on-load. Min temperature at the end of rest. Perfect for cyclic applications like pick-and-place, packaging, or tool changers. And just to reassure everyone, even though we're adding powerful new features, the torque speed input table remains unchanged. So you don't have to relearn anything. Let's now check out a real temperature map for a motor under S1 duty. Let's take a closer look at S1, continuous duty, where the motor runs steadily until it reaches thermal equilibrium. In this example, I've selected the auto mode for the operation time. FluxMotor then automatically estimates the required simulation duration. This is calculated as 5 times the thermal time constant of the motor, allowing the motor to have enough time to reach a thermal plateau. Here's the temperature curve from the simulation. You can clearly see the initial rise as the motor heats up. Over time, the curve flattens, confirming the motor has reached its steady-state temperature. This final temperature, at the end of the simulated duration, is what gets recorded and used for the temperature map. FluxMotor performs this iteratively for every point on the torque speed grid in your input table. Let's switch now to the temperature contour plot. Right away, you'll see hot zones, operating regions where the motor approaches or exceeds safe limits. To make this even more actionable, you can overlay the contours of the motor's thermal class, say Class A at 105 degrees Celsius or Class B at 120 degrees Celsius. This visual tells you where the motor is within safe thermal margins, where you might be too close to the limit, and where redesign or derating may be needed. From here, it's easy to make design decisions. If your motor consistently approaches 120 degrees Celsius, and you're currently using Class A 105 degrees Celsius limit, you may want to upgrade to Class B, giving yourself more headroom, or improve the cooling system to pull those high temperatures down. Let's now switch to a second motor, one that features better thermal management, for instance, a more efficient cooling system or different materials. Running the same S1 duty test, you'll see the temperature map shift. The hot zones move up and out, meaning you can now operate at higher torque speed points without breaching thermal limits. This opens the door to either higher performance or more reliable operation at your original spec, with longer life and fewer overheating risks. Ultimately, this tool helps you engineer with confidence, matching motor performance to duty requirements, not just in theory, but with full thermal validation. Another application of temperature map that can be very useful is to evaluate the service factor of a motor, a common information found on the nameplate of any motor indicating the overload capability of a motor. Let's run a calculation with S2 duty with a duration of 30 minutes. Let's compare two use cases. S1 ensures thermal safety in long-duration continuous use, perfect for baseload machines. S2 lets you explore short-time high-output performance, like running a motor at higher torque, but only for 30 minutes as an example. By comparing the map, you can extract easily the service factor for the entire range of torque speed. This helps clients know how far they can push the motor for a limited time. In S3, you get a detailed view of the cycling temperature. Here is an example of S3 with a cycle duration of 1 hour and a cycle duration factor of 50% with map displayed at the end of on-load instance. With S3, we can see heat up and cool down over each cycle, and the real-time interaction between electromagnetic behavior and thermal conditions. As temperature increases, so do losses. Current and control angle adjust dynamically. A comparison with S1 temperature map can be applied to understand how thermal limit can be pushed further with the intermittent periodic duty. Now, let's briefly talk about the computing compromise. When using thermal coupling, the electromagnetic computation time stays unchanged from previous versions. What's added is only the thermal simulation time, which is now layered on top. To help you estimate, a good rule of thumb is about 3 seconds per operating point for the temperature map, across S1, S2, and S3 duty modes. The map itself is built based on the number of speed points you define, and the number of torque points. So if you want a quick estimation of total time, here's a simple formula. Number of torque points times 2 times number of speed points times 3 seconds. For the default input settings, you're generally looking at around 10 minutes to complete a full map. You can reduce the number of torque and speed points to speed up computation. You can increase the number of computations for a finer temperature map. So, the trade-off is fully in your control, detail versus speed. To sum up, in FluxMotor, we provide 2 key outputs when thermal coupling is enabled in duty mode S1, S2, and S3. First, temperature maps showing the steady state or most critical point depending on the duty cycle. Second, temperature evolution curves at any user-defined operating point, letting you observe how the machine heats up or cools down over time. Thank you for your attention. We'd love your feedback for the next evolution of FluxMotor.